Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, TV Reviews and Connections in Mind, and welcome back to another installment in my review and reaction series to each and every episode of Season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. Now, if you've never seen one of my reaction episodes before, this is where I give my brief rundown of the episode, the latest episode, whatever series I happen to be reviewing at the time, what I liked and disliked, what I thought worked and didn't work, as well as some analysis of certain plot developments and character arcs that may seem familiar to you and where you may have seen them before. Just to get this out of the way, this will be a full spoiler review and reaction of the latest episode of Star Trek Discovery, so if you've not seen this latest episode yet, I highly recommend coming back when you have, because this will be full-on spoilers from here on out. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get into Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 6, entitled Stormy Weather. This episode is much more contained, I think, than than some of the previous episodes have been in the season, where the crew of Discovery has decided on been approved to have on a mission to investigate the DMA's previous location, because, as you may recall in the last episode, the DMA basically jumped 1,000 light years from one star system to another, like 1,000 light years away, and Burnham believes that by investigating the previous location of the DMA, because there's some anomaly residue left over at its previous location, that could give them a source as to where this anomaly is coming from, which would then point them to where it's coming from and who is behind it. So Discovery goes to investigate this anomaly. However, it's an unusual anomaly, because once they get inside, they find there's a problem. Their external sensors are not registering anything. It's not giving them any readings. They obviously can't analyze any data if no data is being collected by their sensors. It's completely black in there. There's no stars, no nothing. There's no even like cosmic background radiation or anything like that. There's just nothing. So the crew's like, all right, what is going on here? How do we fix it? But they soon figure out that that there's a boundary to this, inner layer of this anomaly, and it's contracting towards the ship. And they only have about half an hour to figure out how to get out of there before the Discovery basically is dissolved, pretty much. While this is going on, the crew is trying to figure out everything's happening. Book attempts to interface with the Spore drive and jump the Discovery out. However, the mycelial network won't allow him to do out, and he gets hit by an energy surge, which makes him hallucinate his late father, who and has him reckon with his past, and him having to Book wrestling with that front. Also, meanwhile, in the lounge area on Discovery, Gray has been essentially left behind by the crew, because all the crew went to their duty stations, and Gray, since they're not commissioned, didn't have a station to go to. So Gray's just here and talking to Zora, the artificial intelligence, basically the main computer of Discovery, talking through this problem. And Gray, since he's basically been training to be a guardian, a true guardian, is basically counseling Zora through these, emotions, and trying to figure out, because Discovery isn't reading any sensor context externally, the computer's only has its internal sensors to focus on, and things are going weird inside Discovery, and so that's basically making the computer nervous. But because of this dialogue, we get the key breakthrough that enables the crew of Discovery to figure out there is a way out of the anomaly. However, now the anomaly starting to press in a little bit. It's starting to affect the hull. There's actually a whole breach, and one officer is killed by getting sucked out into space. There is a way out of the breach. They can make it there. However, the shields will fail before Discovery can exit the anomaly, which means everyone on Discovery will die. And the solution is, well, just put everyone into the transporter buffer, a la Scotty in Next Generation's Relics. So everyone that goes into transporter suspension, except for Burnham, who stays behind in a environmental suit, and basically coaxes Zora, the computer, to get them through the anomaly, and really they are able to survive, barely. Obviously Discovery takes some big damage, but the only real bit of information they get from this anomaly is that when the DMA shifted, and also between the energy surge that struck Book, it has the same signature as particles found in the galactic barrier. So all these things are coming from outside of the Milky Way. So that's our clue that we get for this week, and that's about it. Like I said, this is kind of a contained episode, and what I liked about this episode is, again, I do like that containment. I also like it when they find out that the anomaly is starting to contract. It's like, all right, we have about 33 minutes before it hits out, and that's approximately how long was left in the episode. I like it when TV shows are able to work in real time of the length of the episode into the factor, because I think it gives it a little more tension than that. We can feel the passage of time greater that way. It ups the stakes a little bit. I like that part. I also like the Book's struggle. I think that was very important for his character development. I will say Book's going through a lot right now, and obviously lost the planet, of course, but I mean we're focusing a lot on Book this season, which it's not bad. It's just noticing a trend there, which is fine. Also, we finally seem to get a reason for why Gray's still on the ship in this episode, which, great, good for Gray, awesome. But my main dislike in this episode is the character of Zora. Zora being the computer of Discovery, which is basically artificial intelligence at this point. And we only just learned, like an episode ago, that I seem to have emotions now. This is a new development. What am I going to do about this? And now all of a sudden we're dealing with, Zora's having full blown existential crisis and meltdown here with emotions and feeling fear. It's like, I think we're supposed to have like a really invested moments. Like we're supposed to feel for Zora in this exact moment, and just like, no, we have not spent enough time for this. And as a character, it's like, I know nothing about Zora really, other than created by the sphere data or whatever, and I just don't care about Zora as an entity or a character enough, and this just didn't work. This element of the episode didn't work at all for me. Maybe you felt differently. You can tell me in the comments below if I'm way off base on that front. But also, the only other kind of nitpick is that it seems that I'm not sure how many episodes are going to be in this season. I think we're still doing 12 or 13 episodes again, and we're on episode 6. It feels like we're really drip feeding information about this DMA, this threat, and in my opinion, they kind of need to pick up the pace a little bit on that front. Like, if we're stretching out the mystery this long, again, that there's always a struggle. Unpacking the mystery box, the answer inside better be good if we're dragging it on this long. So we'll see what that is going into this episode. This season goes. Some things that I noticed that were similar to episodes of Trek Past. Obviously, ship trapped in an anomaly and having to, also the crew having to, basically put themselves in stasis. Both of Star Trek Voyager episodes, The Fight in the Void, both, anomalies that even refer to this anomaly as a void at one point. Also, Voyager episode 1, again, the stasis, as well as the Star Trek Enterprise episode, Doctor's Orders. So we have that all going on. Also, the fact that playing a game reveals an issue with the computer system, or allows the computer to allow a crew member to realize what might be wrong with the computer, or help diagnose a problem that way. Similar, I believe this was in the Star Trek original series episode. I believe it was Court Martial, where Spock basically realizes he's able to beat the computer chess. Like, that can't be right. Something must be wrong. And then that leads him to the breakthrough of that episode. And finally, the fact that now we seem to be showing that Zora seems to have a, as Ship has sort of a symbiotic, caring relationship with the crew of Discovery. It made me think of the Star Trek Next Generation episode Tin Man, where we don't actually see the crew of Tin Man, but we realize that, it was essentially a living ship, and once the crew, died, that it really affected the ship. So I'm curious to see what happens with this aspect as we go along. But like I said, that's something that needs to develop way more than, an episode or an episode and a half before we get into these sorts of questions with Zora. So those are my main thoughts on this episode of Star Trek Discovery. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What about my analysis? Do you agree, disagree? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate whatever audience I can get. Be sure to look for my reaction to next week's episode of Discovery Season 4, as well as my next movie review, which will be for The Matrix Resurrections, which I will be seeing tonight. And if you liked this video or any other video on my channel, please give me a like, share, and especially a subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a merry and safe Christmas season in the next couple days here. And as always, remember, there is nothing new under the sun. And yes, you have seen it before.